Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalica and you're probably going to be a bit creeped out after watching this video. Old neighbor turned out to be a total creep. This is my first time posting on Reddit and I'm not the best writer, but this subreddit reminded me of something that happened a while ago. Please excuse if the story jumps around a bit because it's honestly confusing for me still and I'm the one it happened to. About 2 years ago when I was 17, I received a Facebook message from someone named Dan who I didn't recognise. I had mutual friends with him and he looked to be around the same age as me, so I wasn't alarmed. What follows is the messages. Hello, how have you been? Haven't seen you in a few years. Hi, not trying to be rude, but do we know each other? Yeah, you really don't know me? I didn't respond. Wow, real nice way to treat a family friend. Sorry, I just don't recognise you. Dan then sent a picture of me and him together from when we were little, and I mean really little, like I looked maybe 2 or 3 and he looked 5 or 6. Oh wow, did our parents used to be friends or something? I was your neighbour. You really don't recognise me? Come on, I didn't move that long ago. He had in fact moved a long time ago, at least 12 years ago, so I honestly feel like it's not that uncommon for me to not recognise someone who I hadn't seen or talked to since I was like 4. Anyways, the conversation continued like that. I apologised for not remembering him and just started catching up. He was being nice enough and I was bored, so whatever, no harm, no foul. After we kept talking, I started remembering more about him. Like, I remembered him coming over and swinging in my backyard and me going over to his house with my big brother and all of us hanging out together. Dan was a few years older than me, at least 2, but I can't remember exactly. Anyways, we kept talking on Facebook, just messaging back and forth about normal things until it started to get late and I was tired and had school the next day, so I told him I was going to bed. I closed my computer and just laid down and went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up to a bunch of messages from him. Things like, "Good night, beautiful," "Sweet dreams," "Message me when you wake up," "Are you asleep yet?" "I can't wait to talk to you." Literally, there was almost 50 messages. In a way, I was kind of flattered that I was getting that much attention, but like, more than anything, I was creeped out. I opened the messages, kind of glanced through them, and then just didn't reply. On my phone, I have it set where I don't get notifications from Facebook Messenger. At the time, I was in a lot of group chats with different team sports and groups of friends, so it was just easier to, at the end of the day, check my messages versus getting a ton of notifications all day long. Some point during the day, I gotten more messages from him that I just hadn't noticed while I was at school. He was saying stuff like, "Do you still live at this address?" I did still live there. "Does your mum still freak out about you hanging out with boys?" What? No, my mum has never freaked out over boys. "Let's go out and catch up." "Let me take you out and treat you right." It just kept going on and on, really random questions that weren't necessarily threatening, but just somewhat creepy. And then him talking about wanting to go on dates. He didn't even live in the same state anymore that I live in, so I have no idea how he would have planned on going on dates with me. The messages just kept continuing over the next week, him telling me that he wants to go on dates with me, asking me really weird questions about my mum and my brother and my house, and then he started asking about his house that he used to live in. I didn't reply to any of his messages, but I was getting at least 50 a day. I'm not sure why I didn't block him. I think I was kind of entertained in a way, like I thought it was funny. Eventually I brought it up to my mum and just asked her if she remembered Dan from next door. Her face completely drained of colour and she got super serious all of a sudden. She asked me why I was bringing him up. I told her that he had messaged me on Facebook and was trying to get me to go out on a date with him and he was just trying to catch up. I didn't tell her he'd been messaging me 50 times a day and that I wasn't responding at this point. She told me to block him and never message him again. I asked her why, and this is a summary of what she told me. When I was 3 or 4, I used to play over at his house a lot. His mum would always offer to babysit me if my mum had to quickly go out and run errands, and he also had a little sister who was around my age. So my mum figured it was a perfect opportunity for a playdate between Dan, my brother, me and Dan's little sister. One day when I came home after one of these playdates, my mum was asking me and my brother what we had done that day. My brother started talking about how he had watched some movie, I don't know which one, and I apparently told my mum that Dan had brushed my hair for me. My mum thought that was a little weird. What 6-year-old boy's gonna want to brush a 3-year-old girl's hair? So she asked a couple more questions. She doesn't really remember the details, and I don't really remember them either since I was a toddler. But somehow it came out that he wasn't brushing my hair. He'd been taking a brush and was rubbing it all over my body while I was only in my underwear. I'm not going to get more explicit than that, and no, nothing more serious happened, thank God. It was just more weird than anything. My brother didn't know anything about this because we'd been in Dan's room and my brother had been in the living room with Dan's little sister. After that, my mum didn't let me go back over to his house. Apparently when my mum confronted his mum about it, a huge fight broke out. Not physically, but a screaming match. It turns out that Dan had been doing similar stuff to his little sister, but it escalated farther than it had with me. My mum threatened to report him to the police or Child Protective Services. She did both. But before much could be done, they moved out and found somewhere else to live. They were renting the house. After hearing that from my mum, I immediately blocked Dan on Facebook. I wasn't quick enough, I guess, however, because he messaged a bunch of my friends on Facebook asking about me and had changed his relationship status to taken and in a relationship with me. He then followed me on Instagram and found my Snapchat somehow. He liked and commented on almost all of my Instagram pictures and sent me a bunch of Snapchats. I have a feeling you can guess what kind of pictures. I quickly blocked him on both and luckily he never figured out my phone number. I haven't heard from him since and haven't heard anything about him, but Dan, let's not meet again. Damn, a 6-year-old boy doing that to a 3-year-old girl? Something's not right there at all. But it looks like his behaviour has escalated even more and now he just sounds outright dangerous. Does your pee smell bad like vinegar? The Tinder date obsessed with pee. Okay, so about 6 months ago I created a Tinder account because I wanted to find a relationship. Looking back at it now, Tinder is not really the place to look for relationships. When this happened, I was 19 and I'm a female for context. I ended up matching with this really handsome guy who was 29 years old and was a mature student at my university. I was so excited, so I messaged him. He messaged me back, and after a couple of hours after messaging one another, we exchanged social media so we could message there. We got to know each other over the next couple of days over messages and decided that we should finally meet up, so we did. We met up in a public area which was a park and sat at a park bench. I remember feeling super uncomfortable being around this guy. I tried to sit far away from him on the bench, but he kept leaning in closer and not giving me any personal space, and asking me odd questions like, do I like giving BJs? Would I like to give him a BJ? Then he made a comment about the fact he likes to go on road trips with females because he likes it when they ask him to stop the car so they can pee. That was not what I was looking for, so I promptly made an excuse and left. Over the coming days, he began messaging me incessantly. By this stage he had my number. I naively gave it to him before we met, and I thought that if I simply blocked him off social media, he wouldn't be able to talk to me anymore. So I did that, but then he just texted me. I ignored him at first and told him I deleted my social media accounts because I now wanted to focus on my studies and had no time for a relationship. He begged me to meet him again on our campus because he wanted to give me something. I was like, heck no. But after he literally texted me 20 times a day for a week, I gave in and agreed to meet him in public place on campus, next to campus security. When I got there, I told him flat out that I was not interested anymore and that I was busy with my studies. He seemed angry, but told me good luck. He also said he knew it wouldn't work out because of the age difference. He was 30 by now. He didn't give me anything, so he only said that to get me to go. Anyways, so that was that, and I didn't hear from him again. Fast forward to today. I got a text message from him asking me to complete a survey for a urologist friend of his. He asked how old I was, how often I needed to pee on average per day, do I pee more after coffee, what colour is my pee, what colour is my pee after coffee, what colour is it mostly, slightly or dark yellow, what colour is it after coffee, and when it's dark yellow, does it smell like vinegar? I was shocked and haven't replied. Since then, he's been bombarding me with messages asking me how my holiday has been. I don't know what to do. This guy knows where I live. He told me where he lived during the date, so I told him where I lived. He also knows what I study. Man, that dude just needs to be upfront about his fetish, because the way he's doing it is so weird and creepy. Also, if someone is messaging you 20 times a day for a week, that's not when you give in and meet the person. That's when you get security involved. Watching me on the baby monitor. So this just happened an hour or two ago, and I'm pretty freaked out. Long time lurker, first time poster, on mobile, so I'll do my best with formatting. I'm sure you know the drill. 24-year-old female. So I have a Wi-Fi enabled baby monitor in my bedroom, so we can watch my 5-month-old son when he's sleeping in his bassinet when my husband and I are downstairs. I tend to be nude when in my bedroom in the second story of my house, as I don't have central air and it's summer in Wisconsin, USA, and today is currently over 80 degrees Fahrenheit, almost 27 degrees Celsius. I was laying in bed drinking a beer and watching TV when I noticed the light blinking on the baby monitor, which was currently facing towards the bed, as my son had been in a co-sleeper on the bed with my husband last night. I work overnight shifts in a hospital. For our monitor, a light blinking on it means that someone is watching via the website or an app for the monitor. I jokingly sent a text calling my husband a creeper and was flipping off the camera and talking to it, but find it odd that it took him several minutes to read my message. He's at work at the time. When he finally responded, I could say the cliche, my blood ran cold, but that would be embellishing. He said he hadn't opened the app for the camera in weeks and definitely wasn't the one watching, and advised that I unplug the camera, which I did. I don't know who was watching me, or how they could have gotten a hold of the login information for the monitor, but creepy person watching me through my baby monitor? Let's not meet. Ever. I remember seeing something a while back that baby monitors connected via Wi-Fi are one of the easiest things to hack. I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correctly, but it was a video on the dark web where there were just pages and pages of live streams of people's homes via their cameras. Really creepy stuff. Okay, so that's all for r/LetsNotMeet. I really hope you did enjoy it. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. My Twitter, Discord and Patreon links are in the description, and any support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!